What's up, my friends? Renaissance Swagger here. Thank you so much for joining me. So this evening I want to share with you how to optimize your week for your fitness routine. This is something I've been doing for a while. It works really well for me. Now I am thinking functional fitness. So if you are a hardcore Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone type dude, you're bench pressing a bazillion pounds, although that is super cool, this might not be the best strategy for you. Although stick around, there might be some things you can grab from this as well. However, if you are into CrossFit, High Rocks, or just want to be well-rounded and you're trying to accomplish different things and you want to work your cardio, you want to also stay strong, this bud's for you. So let's go ahead and walk through it. Now, I think of my week as a Sunday to Saturday kind of deal, but really what matters here is the order. There's a lot of strategy behind this, and I've had to refine this over several years. So I'm going to start my week with sprint day. Now, for me, sprint day is going to be a run, although it could be a different type of exercise, but the point is you are going all out. For me, that's going to be an 800-meter run, which, by the way, really sucks. But I want to be fresh on sprint day. I don't really want to be fatigued. So I don't know, say leg day prior to sprint day is no bueno. So my sprint day, I'm going to be super fresh because I'm going to completely go all out, and I want to retain a consistent benchmark time. If I'm pre-exhausting myself, I'm going to get inconsistencies. I want to be very consistent with that. So that's why I start the week there. Now, because it is a sprint, obviously I'm going to be done pretty quick. So I'm going to do a core workout that day. Now, even if I'm doing multiple sprints, I'm still going to have that extra time. So this is going to be a core heavy day for me. I'm going to focus a little bit more and get my core in. Moving on to the next day, Monday is going to be my more, I don't want to say stay cardio. We're going to go a level up above that, but not a sprint. So for me, that's a 2-mile run. Although for you, it might be a 5K. You might be more of like a 5-mile person. Really, it doesn't matter. But that longer run, if you're into cycling, that's cool too. It doesn't matter. Just that longer state cardio is what I'm getting at here. So whatever your pleasure, that's going to be the day that I do that. Yes, I have just done a sprint day, so I'm going to have a little bit of pre-exhaustion for sure. But if I were to flip those things around, that's going to mess with me a lot more personally, I find, than in this order here. And again, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to inject core on my run day because it makes sense. It's not overly tasking to do so. Usually after a run, I will walk a little bit recovered, and I'll just go ahead and do some core. So that will be the day number 2 for me, which is Monday. Day number 3, Tuesday, is going to be my leg day. Now, I have done my runs, I've got them locked in, and so this is the perfect time to inject my leg day because I want to get that as far away in the trail in the background as I can before I rotate and rinse and repeat. So leg day is going to come next because I've locked in those runs, and that's where I'm going to go all out on my legs. I'm going to try to burn my legs to the ground as much as I possibly can, and so I'm going to inject that. Now, this is an interesting one because typically for a lot of us, although it doesn't have to be the case, we're doing our leg day in a gym. And with gyms, you will find that you have core equipment for your abs that typically has weight associated with it. So you'll notice I write weighted core. And what I mean by that is I'm going to just go ahead and take advantage of those machines. Normally for my core, I like to do plyometric type stuff. I don't really like to do the weighted machines so much in the gym because they are very isolated. But if I'm going to inject a little bit of core in leg day, I'm going to go ahead, why not? Just go ahead and use the machines, isolate out your abs, and take advantage of that on leg day. So that's what I'm doing there. Now on Wednesday, I'm going to go to upper body. Upper body could come with core or not. I like to do it with core, although it's not written here necessarily. I do like to change it up a little bit, but I will, and that's important by the way, as a side note, you want to make sure with your core workouts, you don't get stuck in a rut. With core, it's super important that you're constantly changing your core exercises. Your body's going to get used to them, and it's not going to be as effective. So I might inject something a little bit different on my core on Wednesday, but this is going to be my upper body strength training day. Now, I am talking about functional fitness, so I'm going to do my upper body all on this day. I'm not going to break it up. A lot of people like to go chest and back on one day and then bis and tris on another. That's not me. I'm doing everything on that day. And for me personally, I like to do about 6 sets of something on every major muscle group, including bis and tris, shoulders, back, chest, so forth. So I'll at least get 6 sets in, if not 8. And I like to constantly keep things changing because, again, it's very important to not get stuck in a rut. I think that's more important even on upper body than it is on leg day to keep things going. All right, moving on to Thursday. Thursday is going to be, I called it the sport day, but if you're not in some kind of sport, maybe consider it. If you're into martial arts, cycling, again, this would be more of a leisure thing for you. You'll have to think about that in terms of the day 2 that I mentioned. It could be tennis, it could be basketball, like I said, martial arts, but the point is some kind of sport that you enjoy doing. Sometimes I find with sports, you're not necessarily maxing yourself out on a regular schedule, unless it's like some kind of competition or a thing like that. So if you have some day of the week where you like to do that extra kind of curricular activity, this might be a good time to inject your sport day because you're letting your upper body, your leg day recover. Now, I recognize there might be some sports where this strategy is not optimal to have these days right in front of that day there, and that's okay. Adjust accordingly. All right, moving on to Friday. Obviously, you see this coming. By Friday, you're probably pretty tapped. So this is going to be recovery day. Also, if you are working, a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday kind of job, it's the end of the week. You've done a full week of work. You're probably kind of mentally tapped as well. That's going to affect your physical workout. So that's why for Friday, I like to just check out, call it a recovery day. Now, this isn't Beer 30 day. This is recovery day. So you should be recovering and getting proper nutrition, rest, things like that, so that you can keep going. And then teeing up for the following week, Saturday, I'm going to call that my Zone 2 day. Zone 2 is not going to be the same as my run day. I'm going a lot harder on my run day than I am on Zone 2. Zone 2, I'm keeping my heart rate around $130, tops $140. I'm not going above that. Now, I like, as a side note, the stairs. I have found the stair speed really optimal for my Zone 2. It's a little bit of a warm-up for my muscles, and it's also a really great way to just kind of knock it out. Some people like to walk. Some people, again, like to cycle. The cycling one there is kind of like the wild card. But at the end of the day, do a Zone 2 day, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever you like, and that's going to get you warmed up for the following week. All right, folks, so that's it. That's kind of how I've structured my week. Obviously, you will have to adjust accordingly, but in general, I think for a functional fitness type week, this works pretty good, and I hope you've gotten something out of this. Please subscribe to my channel if you did get something out of this. Let me know what you thought of the video, and if you have any questions or comments, I will respond to you. We will talk, so I promise, leave me a comment. As always, thank you for listening and take care.